Alright, Shalom, Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, Hashem, Yahweh, Hashem, Hashem, for that. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great mission and salutation. So you sincere Akem, out there are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Alright, so once again, we are the Hebrew Israelites coming in and week out, bringing these wonderful words and the works of Yahawah Barasham Yahweh Shai. Alright, Yahawah being the true name of the Heavenly Father, the creator of heaven and earth, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, the God which the scriptures speak of. And Yahweh Shai is only because his son, which the world ignorantly and willfully calls Jesus Christ, and the Raha for that is the Holy Spirit. Alright, so today is September 4th, 2021, year of hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahawah Hashem Yahweh Shai. Alright, and you already see what's going on the earth, news and prophecy, every single day, every single waking moment, you are seeing more and more news pop up, prophecy popping up, alright? And I don't really want to go too deep into that because I have other things I want to speak on. But these are exciting times that we're living. Whenever you open up the feed of the brother's videos and you see, various prophecies going forth and various things within each prophecy. Alright, and just right at the top of my feed from the brother of Blood Covenant 144, and it says 3 woes cometh, quickly. World War 3 updates. And that's the first thing that is on my feed. And you see various prophecies going forth, alright? But mainly the main prophecy that is going forth right now is the World War 3, alright? And you're still hearing, because the big thing now on the news is Taliban and how they've taken over Afghanistan. You are still hearing news concerning that up to now. People are still speaking about how the Taliban have taken over, how the Taliban have taken over Afghanistan, how US was forced to pull out its troops from Afghanistan. And like I always say, they might have pulled out the troops, but the troops are still going to go back there at the end of the day, because you know what that place is, according to prophecy, the valley of Jehoshaphat, okay, the valley of Yahawah Shapat. In other words, Yahawah Hashem Yahweh Shai's judgment, alright? Because the troops are going to go there, and he shall pull the troops out right in time, okay? Let me finish this off first, because I have 2 points I want to get to. So the first point, Israel has pulled out his troops, but he's still going to have to put them back right in, the valley of Yahawah Shapat, because that is the valley of the Most High judgment. It's where Yahawah Hashem Yahweh Shai is literally to put the hurt on these devils. And it's been a while since I've gone into this, let me go ahead and get into it. Okay, the war in heaven, the venue for that war is going to be the skies, the airspace of Syria and Syria, Afghanistan, the Middle Eastern region. So what I'm going to do first is because since most have been previous, man, we have internet here right now. So I'm going to just go and check out the map of the Middle East. Just to get a for Syria, but I can't find it on the map. Alright, let me try it on the Syrian map. Alright, so what I have the map of Afghanistan, right? So basically what I was going to was valley of Yahawah Shapat, the valley of Jehoshaphat, which of course is Syria today. Alright, and between Syria you have what's this country's name again? Georgia, Turkey, Iraq, Iran, and then you have Afghanistan, alright? And that region, that entire region right here, of the Middle East, okay, that is the valley of Yahawah Shapat. So that's where the war in heaven, over the skies of that region is where the war in heaven will take place. So I'm going to go through that. So I'm going to go through some of those precepts real quick, okay? Just to bring out some information concerning that, because I haven't gone into that in a long time, you know. I haven't spoken on it in a long time. Just a refresher for even me as well. So this is the book of Revelation 12, and I will start from verse 7. Revelation 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. I think that's basically what that is going into. So let me get that, because all that was ready. So I'm going to break it down. It's the war in heaven. Alright, it's not talking about the spiritual, heaven as in the throne of the Most High. Right, because guess what? Satan, okay, the devil, which is of course Esau Edom, can't go into heaven and start waging war on the throne of the Most High. Alright, that's why these Christians they get it wrong. They go off, because how can you wage war at the throne of the Most High, right? Where Yahawah is seated and think that can actually happen. But the actual heaven I am speaking about is when our Lord Yahawah cracks the clouds. And guess what? As he cracks those clouds, he's coming with Michael the archangel. Okay, he even said that in the episode. That is the book of I believe that is Daniel the 12th chapter. That he said that he's coming with the Lord Yahawah is coming with Michael when he's coming back. And I see it right here. Daniel 12 verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of my people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And that's basically going to what our Lord Yahawah is coming back. He's coming back, and when he's coming back with Michael, alright? And Michael is going to be the general that is leading the army of our Lord Yahawah, and they're going to fight against Satan, Esau, and his angels. And those angels being his air force, okay, the space force that you see in the and we've also gone into this before. Alright, the space force, the air force, the different branches of military that go into the sky, because in that time, during the time of World War II, the real World War III will be fought, it will be the armies of Esau Edom against our Lord Yahawah. That's going to be the real World War III, alright? Because the current World War III they are seeing. So okay. I think it's a little bit it's been raining a lot here, and it's been raining a lot here, and I messed up my throat a little bit. But basically what I was saying was that the current World War III, they are seeing being ready to happen between Russia, China, Iraq, and Babylon, and Babylon, and so on. That's not the real World War III. Right? That's just the beginning of World War III, okay? Because the real World War III is going to be the Yahawah and the angels against Esau Edom and his armies, okay? And those armies include the armies of China, the armies of Iran, okay, the armies of the Moabites, the armies of the Ishmaelites, of all these various nations, even of the Hamites, and even some of you so-called Israelites will be in that army as well. Because when Allah Yahawah cracks the clouds, all those that are under the beast and the system, because this world, we already know this the precept, okay, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. In other words, all these armies that are calling themselves fighting against each other, they are all fighting under the banner of the same master, which are the international bankers, okay? That is the army that all these people all these armies in the world are fighting for. The way that they take the side of the Chinese army or the US army or the Iranian army, and they think that they are fighting for freedom or for their country or for rulership, whatever they feel that they are fighting for. At the end of the day, all they are fighting for is the freedom, the rulership, and the country of these international bankers, okay? So that's all they are fighting for. Whatever they say, they are fighting for freedom. It's your freedom of the international bankers, alright? Because they know that if they lose this war, and if they lose the war between Yahawah and Yahawah, which is ironic because they've already lost. But when they lose the war, they are going into slavery. That means they are going into captivity, okay? Because that is the only thing that can result. That is the only result that can come out of that war. Alright, so continue on. They'll continue on. And this battle that I spoke about right now, the battle in heaven, which of course, as I read, that is Revelation 12 verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And that dragon being the beast system that we always speak about, NATO and the EU. Alright, that is basically the system that is supporting this system of Edomite supremacy, Edomite leadership on the earth. And the angels are those soldiers, okay? The soldiers are fighting under that system. So the Air Force and the Space Force, a good example of that. And when I look at our like coming, those chariots, those chariots that you see flying around the sky, that always come out, the way brothers are doing videos, and I'm looking at just in case, because you never know, you know. That was what I was saying. Those chariots that are always out in the sky when brothers are doing videos, those are the same chariots that will come. That Israel is trying to come up and fight against, and if they're going to destroy, okay, they're going to lose those chariots, right? This is the book of Revelation 12 verse 8, and prevailed not, alright? So Israel's army, alright, the army of NATO and the EU, the army of the dragon will fight against the angel, our Lord Yahawah, Michael the archangel and his army, and they will not prevail, okay? And the scripture said that neither was their place found in heaven. Alright, first and foremost, they prevailed not. Neither was they lost. Neither was their place found in heaven. So what? As the scripture says, I beheld Satan fall as lightning. Alright, that is the book of Jeremiah. Where Jeremiah said that he beheld Satan falling as lightning, and that's how it is going to be. That's how that shows you how unanimous the victory of our Lord Yahawah when it comes to fight against the devil is going to be. Because as soon as those air fighters that the pieces that I really want to get right now, they have to solidify what I'm going into them second Esdras. I believe that is the third chapter. Because that piece right there just kills this whole topic. So let me bring that out. I want to get to the little bit later after I finish on the breakdown. Just spoke about the value of how I shapat a little bit, but it's better to just get it right now because that precept is basically, if you want to talk about the war in heaven, they have to get this precept right here. So okay, I'm forgetting the precept. So okay. Okay, second Esdras 13. Yes, okay, I forgot that precept. The second Esdras 13. Alright, so this is the book of second Esdras 13 verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. So the prophet Esdras dreamt a dream about a prophecy. He saw a future vision that has yet to come, even till this time. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And basically what this is going into, the man I see was the Lord Yahawah. Alright, and he waxed strong with thousands of heaven. That was the chariots, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of chariots, okay? Because what the scripture says that the chariots of the Most High are thousands, even thousands upon thousands of angels. And I've already gone into this before. So that word million, alright? The word million, it goes back to the word thousand. Alright? The word million literally means 1,000,000. Right? So 1,000 multiplied by 1,000 or 1,000 squared is 1 million. Alright, so the word million, it goes back to the word milli. And what that word milli means is 1,000. So a million is basically 1,000 squared. And like I said before, and a billion means by million. That was a million times 2. Okay, and a trillion, the exact same thing. It goes million, billion, quadrillion, centrillion, septillion, and it keeps on going like that. Okay, that's how the number is supposed to be. So that's exactly what that word million means, okay? So when it says thousands upon thousands, thousands upon thousands of angels, it literally means millions of angels, alright? Millions of chariots are going to be, are going to cut the clouds in those days. That's what I meant in that day. So I used the wrong. Anyway, continuing. From verse 4 now. And whenever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth with fire. And basically what this is going to is the laser beams from that chariot, okay? Because what the scriptures say that I believe in the book of Revelation, the 14th chapter, that his eyes were. Let me see if I can get that picture. Let me see if I can get that picture first. Alright, that his mouth was a sharp sword, was a sharp two-edged sword. That's how it goes. So okay, I'm not going to check what I can. I'm not going to look for that picture real quick. Oh, so okay, I'm not typing it correctly. As I'm having problems right now. Here it is. Alright, this is the book of Revelation. This is the book of Revelation 19 verse 11. Revelation 19 verse 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he does judge and make war. And this is speaking of our Lord Yahawashi, okay? Because he's the one that is faithful and true, and he's the one that can judge and make war in righteousness. So guess what? Contrary to Christian belief, contrary to popular belief, which of course, the popular opinion is the opinion of the world, and the opinion of the world is always wrong, alright? So, contrary to their opinion, in which our Lord Yahawashi is coming back with peace, coming back to bring blessings and love and spread love and peace to everybody on the earth. Alright? He's not coming back to spread love and peace and blessings to everybody on the earth. He's coming back to do that only to his elect, alright? Only to the anointed, the saints of the Most High. And just being a freaking Christian and believing in Cesare Borgia and going to church every Sunday and paying your tithes to your pastor pork chop doesn't make you a Christian. It doesn't put you up for salvation, alright? Being of the elect of the nation of Israel, that is what makes you worthy of salvation. I already know the attributes in which the elect will have in that day. I'm not going to go into that, okay? Because for the rest of the people that are in the world, for you to say, you unbelievers, what our Lord Yahawashi is coming back to bring for you is a sword, alright? Alright, because what is scripture say? Prophesy a sword, it is come down, it is come down upon the earth, it contaminates the rod of the firstborn, alright, the rod of our Lord Yahawashi. So I have to get that picture, because I really butchered it. So I have to get it so I can bring it out properly. Alright. Ezekiel 21 verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contaminates the rod of my son as every tree. Alright, that's basically what that person is going into. A sword, okay? When Allah comes back, he's coming back with a sword. He's coming back to bring judgment, okay? And that's why the place where the war in heaven will take place, where our Lord Yahawashi will actually land, okay, will actually be seen in the sky. It's going to be called the Valley of Yahweh Shapat, the Valley of the Most High Judgment. Because what our Lord Yahawashi is coming back to bring is not peace, is not destruction, is not prosperity, it's not salvation, it is judgment, okay? And those whose judgment is to be saved will be saved. And those whose judgment is to be destroyed will be destroyed. So I should rephrase that and say, our Lord Yahawashi, everything that is coming back to bring can be summarized into the simple word judgment, okay? Because the elect, their judgment in that day, the Most High will pardon their sins. And once they have their sins pardoned, guess what? The wages of sin is death. So those that are without sin naturally are undying. Alright? Those that are without sin naturally will be delivered without having to taste death. And that is the true translation of John 3 verse 16. For the Most High loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And the real translation for that is that what? And whosoever believeth in our Lord Yahawashi, alright? And not just believeth on him just because. You just say, oh, I believe in the Son of the Most High, but you don't know who that Son of the Most High is. I don't believe in any of his works, but how should you believe in him? And let me get that. Because Jesus said that what? He that believeth in me, as the scriptures had said. That's how you have to believe in our shine, alright? Samatia, let me try something else. John 7 verse 38. The book of John 7 verse 38, and it reads, he that believeth on me, as the scriptures had said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. So that's how we have to believe in our Lord Yahawashi, okay? As the scriptures had said, according to what is written up in the scriptures. So if you truly believe in Yahawashi, it doesn't just mean that, oh, you say that Yahawashi, you know that our Lord Yahawashi exists, but you don't know anything about him. And you think that counts as believing in him. That does not, okay? Because what is it just saying? Even Esau, he don't believe in Yahawashi. You think the elites don't know that he exists? You think the elites don't know that he was raised from the dead and he's come back to judge them? Of course they know, but what counts is what? You have to believe in him. Alright? As the scriptures are spoken, as the scriptures say, believe in him. So you believe in Yahawashi as it's written in the scriptures. You believe in Yahawashi. And what's written in the scriptures, okay? The works of our Lord Yahawashi and the discipleship. Because that's the most important thing right there. Alright? Because you believe and you have faith in Yahawashi, you show it through your work. So you do the works of your Lord Yahawashi. You're out there in the environment, you are prophesying, you are keeping the faith, okay? Professing yourself to be an Israelite and living in that same lifestyle, living your life as an Israelite, following the Israelite custom, the Sabbath, the new moon, and the feast days, okay? Savannah just took place, and I didn't even know to realize this yet. And I'm not really keep tabs on the few days like I should. That's what I have to do. I'm looking for things to go into. That's what I have to do. The feast of the different feast days. That is the book of Leviticus, the 13th chapter, I believe. Going into the various feast days, alright, excluding the Purim, alright, and the Hanukkah, excluding Purim and Hanukkah, okay, because you know that the feast of Purim was during Esther, okay, that the deliverance from Haman, and the feast of Hanukkah was the Maccabees and their deliverance from the Edomites. And you see that's a trend right there, okay? Let me take a minute to step away from what I'm speaking about right now and speak about that as well. The only time that our people as a whole, we've had various captivities, okay? 100% you get to agree on that. But the only time that we had high holy days after we were delivered from certain captivities was when we were delivered from Edomites, okay? Showing you that, this current deliverance from Esau Edom, Unified Society, is going to be one of the biggest feast days that will be celebrated in the kingdom. Alright? When we get delivered from Esau Edom, when we get delivered from this wicked kingdom, that's going to be the biggest feast day, after the Passover. That's going to be celebrated in the kingdom. And it's going to be a new feast day. Right? Because every time we are delivered from the hands of these Edomites, the Most High made that a feast day. Because according to my memory, I believe if I remember correctly, the only time in which was delivered from the hands of the Edomites was during that time of Haman and during the time of the Maccabees as well. Because after the Maccabees died, you know what happened next, right? The Idumeans, Antipater the Idumean took over, and then that's like the Herodian dynasty. Because the Maccabees, okay, they were the Hasmonean dynasty, you know, and because they married with the Herodian dynasty, that's how the Herodian dynasty managed to take over. And I'm sure that you had a lot of Herods that, you know, actually look like Jake, okay? You probably had a lot of these Herodians that look like Jake, but they weren't, okay? They were Edomites because their fathers were the Herodians, and they were part of the Herodian dynasty, so they were actually Edomites. Alright, but, you know, there was no right time, people were not delivered from Herod, they were not delivered from the Romans, okay? And we are still in that persecution, we are still in that captivity, that Roman captivity to this day. Because guess what, okay? From the Roman captivity, you can already tell that empires can actually be paused, okay? The rulership of an empire can be paused and continue. So that's exactly what happened to the Romans. The Roman Empire never actually truly fell, right? Because they have to say that, oh, it's the fall of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire did this, the Roman Empire did that. But it's never actually true. The Roman Empire never actually, the Roman Empire never truly fell, alright? Because because the Roman Empire was decided to stop, okay, decided to be put into a deep pit, okay, which is because that deep pit was dark ages for 1,000 years, and then it will be revived and continued again. So they never actually stopped, just paused for a second and then continued on. Alright, now we're living in the continuation of the Roman Empire. You know, whether these Edomites will agree to it or not, because you already know who the Romans truly were, right? The Romans are the true Romans were these Edomites that are all over the earth right now. They call themselves Americans, English, French, Portuguese, Spanish, which are all names that Jake actually, which are all names that Jake used. That's English, but those names are all names of countries that Jake was in rulership, that Jake built, okay? The UK, Great Britain, and the UK was built by Jake. Spain and Portugal and France, they were all built by Jake because they were all first ruled over by Israelites, and then these Israelites took over during the Renaissance, which of course sparked the continuation of the Roman Empire. But now, putting that aside, let's get back into this. Right? Let's get back into this. So, okay, let's get back into this. From verse 12 now. Romans 19 verse 12, okay? Sorry, Romans 19 verse 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself, okay? And he was clothed with a vesture, and with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of the Most High. So we really understand that this is speaking about our Lord Yahawashi, okay? We really understand that this is speaking about our Lord Yahawashi. So continuing now. And the armies which are in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Now these horses are the chariots, okay? So that day, our Lord Yahawashi is going to rule upon Eastern Edom and on his kingdom with an army of white chariots, you know, and all them are going to be clothed in pure white. And that's why you see, you know, whenever Esau depicts the angels, he always depicts them wearing complete white. They're wearing white garments. You saw this picture right here. Because in that day, they're all going to be wearing white garments because of what? It's going to be a symbolism, okay? Because first and foremost, they're wearing white garments because the white garments actually means that they are pure, alright? So it might not actually be in the angels, all the angels might not actually be in white garments in those days. But that white garment actually means their purity, right? Because the angels are going down with the Lord Yahawashi. The majority of them are going to be those that are already, you know, already passed away, already died for this truth, or died in the truth. You know, those are like high priest, elder Ababivins, okay, King Masha and the like. Those are already died in this truth. Angels like that. And of course, as well, that's the reason why they're wearing that white, because they're going to stain their garments, okay? The white is going to be completely red in that day because of all the death and destruction and judgment that is going to be going forth, okay? Because you have a planet, a whole planet right now where majority of the people on this planet, like over 70% of the people on this planet are going to be put to death, okay? Over more than 50%, let's just put it like that. Let's just put that number there because you know that majority of the people on this planet, and majority of the people on this planet are going to be put to death. So over 50% of the people that are on this planet are going to be put to death in that day. And it's going to be those angels that are doing that work, alright? To continue now, from verse 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the almighty power. Alright, so I believe that word winepress, it goes back to the Hebrew word Bozrah. And I believe that the word gas, because I was actually looking this up a little while ago, and the word, let me just look it up right now, because I remember the word Bozrah, it goes back to the Hebrew word winepress, right? Let me look it up. I know the funny thing is that in one of these Bible dictionaries, it actually mentions that the word that Babylon the Great is the Bozrah of the Hebrew prophets, alright? So don't get that. Okay, but the word actually means sheepfold or fortress. So it doesn't mean that the word gas is what I'm looking for. Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure. Okay, so the word Bozrah means sheepfold according to the letter. If I remember the appropriation and that word Bozrah actually means winepress, because according to the letter, right, the word gas is actually the word that means winepress. I'm not really still talking about that, Many people, when the spirit happens to make anybody that stumble upon the video, let us know that they can actually confirm it from me, okay, so that I can get over a definition of that. But continuing on, alright, because that's probably my best word to use, because what? I have to keep on moving in this street. But anyway, that was I was saying. Alright, there you have it right here. So because what I was trying to say was the fact that our Lord our time is coming back as a sword, okay? It's coming back to this, to bring judgment with the sword, okay? Because the scripture says, for by fire and by the sword shall Yahawah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahawah shall be many. Alright, so that word plead means what? The same word. That word plead in the Hebrew means shapat, okay? Shapat. In other words, the word means to judge, okay? That word, and that's what refers to the title of this camp today. Yahawah shapat, Yahawah's judgment. Okay? That's what I've been talking about for a while, and that's what I'm talking about. But that's basically what I'm going to do, the judgment of Yahawah okay? Yahawah shapat. So let me go back to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, and I'll start from verse 4. Second Ezra 13 verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Alright? So the four winds of the heaven is speaking about all these different nations. They are sending their air forces, sending their armies to subdue our Lord our child. Okay? And the sea that is speaking about here is not the sea, alright, that is on the ground here, but the sea above, okay? Not the firmament below, but the firmament above, okay? Because you understand that the Most High separated the seas, okay, into two firmaments. The firmament below being the sea on the earth, and the firmament above being the sea of space, alright? That's what this is speaking about. When it's about the sea, our Lord Yahawah came out from the sea that is above. Now when it came to outer space, because that's where the chariots are. That's where the chariots are. Outer space, no surprise there. Since Esau, this according to many of these conspiracy type Edomites. That these chariots are actually so-called aliens from outer space. But what they really are the chariots of Yahawah and they are, and it's angels, okay? Angels on those chariots. So those are that's who. So our Lord Yahawah that day, man, he saw his armies, okay? He saw his armies, these armies of the various nations. They're going to come up against our Lord Yahawah when he cracks the clouds. They're going to unite in order to fight him. Right? The planetary threats, the main threat to Esau's kingdom. So our Lord Yahawah is not just the archangel and those chariots. So that's the main threat to Esau's kingdom. So continuing. From verse 6 now. But I beheld, and lo, he had drave himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereas the hill was driven, and I could not. And that mountain is what? The chariot again. Because I thought I was trying to be riding on the biggest chariot, because what you have right now is that Esau has found this certain chariot, you know. We are speaking about it last year. Oh now, Muna, or something like that. Basically. And also another chariot he found close to his son. And these two chariots are even bigger than the planet Earth. Okay, so the Yahawah has chariots that are bigger than this planet. Alright, so that day, I look at our church just coming in the chariot, and it's going to completely block out the whole the sun, and block out the sky. That's why the video said that it was that in that day the sun shall no longer shine and the moon shall no longer give her light, because first you have the chariot of our Lord Yahawah blocking out the sun and the moon. Then you have the fire and the smoke from the burning of Babylon the Great and from the burning of this kingdom blocking out the sun and the moon as well. And you also have Esau Edom being put down and being destroyed. Okay, their kingdom falling, because the sun and the moon represent Esau Edom, represent them being the heavenly bodies, the rulers of this kingdom. Them sitting in heaven right now as kings in this kingdom, because the average Edomite, alright, this is his kingdom. He will be considered a king. The average Edomite is considered greater than the average Israelite. Okay, so now Esau Edom is living as a king in his kingdom, because it's his kingdom. So it's obvious that he's living as a king. Okay, so that's what's going to be. They're going to be seen in that day, utter darkness. Okay, because for us, and that darkness is only from all the people that are in the world. Okay, because when they see, the way they see, it will be confusion for them, because they don't know what the chariots are. They don't know why Lord Yahawah, why or who Lord Yahawah is. They'll be surprised at how when they see Jake, alright, when they see an Israelite man, okay, Lord Yahawah with his white hair and his white beard coming down on a chariot. It's going to be complete darkness for them in that day, because that's what they have been living in. That's what the people of this world have been living in, utter darkness. Okay, so in that day, and their light being Esau Edom. Yeah, because what does scripture say? That how do you go again? I'll have to go and get that. I feel like Isaiah 14. There it is. How, Isaiah 14 verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And that's right, okay, because when the wanted to say was that Esau Edom is the light of the people that are living in the world right now, okay? It prevents the hidden and the light. Yeah, that's their true word. And when Esau Edom falls in that day, okay, when his kingdom falls, these people out here in the world, they will lose their life. They will lose their one and only source of light, and they will be living in true and utter darkness. And they will not be. That's when you people will understand the darkness, the outer darkness, and the darkness that you have been living all this while. Because once Esau Edom is taken out, you don't have false light. You have false light that the thing has the false light that you think that you've been hiding behind. Once it comes down, and you realize that you've been living in utter darkness all this while. Because right now, Esau is their sun, is their moon, is their stars, is their everything in this world. And once you take that everything, that will really be it, okay? because what they are, because if you watch, if you actually keep up with this MLTV news, what they are saying now is that your chip will actually, you actually have the ability to straighten your nervous system with like an electric pulse, okay? So Esau will literally be able to kill you, to kill you at the push of a button. Which of course, you can already do that at this junction. But now, man, Esau will have complete control over your life, your thoughts, your emotions, your everything. He will truly be the most high to you. He will truly be your God. Alright, but when that God is taken down, that's beautiful, right? That's actually poetic, because that's exactly what the Most High is waiting. That is exactly what the Most High is waiting for. That's why the Most High is going to let Esau put the MOTB, right? Keep majority of the earth, because he wants Esau to be in that God state. Okay, he wants Esau to say this. Alright, Isaiah 14 verse 13 now. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregations in the side of the north. I will ascend above the height of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. What you have about me, our child wants for Esau to be in that state where he is, the way he's sitting above the whole earth as the Most High, where he thinks that he has crowned his enterprise with success. The way he is starting to enjoy the fruit of his labor, to benefit from his success. So basically, like the scripture says in the book of Job 20, chapter 20, when they are sat down to eat, and the Most High, after the Most High will not actually come, okay? Because Yahweh actually wants Esau to succeed. The Most High is backing Esau right now, pushing him to succeed, giving him that. That's why Esau is all the power in this kingdom. Because the Most High is pushing that, because the Most High is really giving all the power, giving all the tools that he needs to succeed. Because actually, how about you outside wants Esau to succeed, okay? That's a lesson right there. And I'm going to actually that's a lesson right there, The how about you outside wants Esau to succeed. So that it will be all the more better, all the more satisfying when he actually takes him down. Because at the end of the day, that's what the Most are actually after, to bring down these devils right now, okay? So anyway, continuing on. Let me go back to that. The book of 2nd Ezra 13, This might take a little bit longer than I thought it would. Alright, but anyway, 2nd Ezra 13, and I'll continue up right up. Alright, so continue. 2nd Ezra 13 verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, yet durst fight, okay? So if you go up in these precepts, it will already tell you that anywhere that our Lord Yahawashi looked, it trembled, okay? Everything that our Lord Yahawashi looked upon trembled. In other words, all the earth, alright, the plants, the sea, the animals, even the people, they trembled when they saw our Lord Yahawashi, when they saw him, in the way that he came. It's going to be a fearful sight. That's why the scripture says that men's hearts will fail in them from fear. In other words, people are going to be getting heart attacks in those days. Because that's how scary the set of our Lord Yahawashi coming down is going to be. So when Esau's army comes to fight against our Lord Yahawashi, they are going to be terrified as hell when they see the chariots, when they see the angels, when they see them in all their glory. It's going to be a terrifying sight to them. But guess what? As it is written, 2nd Ezra 13 verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight, okay? So even in their fear, they will still fight against our Lord Yahawashi. But, we already know how the story goes. They will be taken down in the blink of an eye, without any effort, So this will become 2nd Ezra 13 verse 9, and it reads, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it has been, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And this is once again the fire from those chariots, okay? Because that's all our child is going to do in that day. You're not going to be like, you're not going to lift up a sword. You're not going to be pound these devils with your bare hand. But you're going to send the fire from the chariots, okay, the lasers from the chariots, and they're going to burn all of his, all of Esau's armies, okay. You're going to shoot down all of his air force, his space force, the ISS, the supplies that Esau has in the sky. Everything is going to come down crashing in that day, alright. So when you see our child coming back, with his glory, you're going to see Esau's kingdom. That's going to be the exact same time that Esau's kingdom, that you see Esau's kingdom fall. And those aircrafts, those ships, all of Esau's aircraft, his fighter jets, them falling is going to literally be the representation of Esau's kingdom falling, crashing down after he received judgment and fire from our Lord Yahawah. Alright, continuing. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Alright, so what's going to happen is they're going to be vaporized. And let me get the definition of that word vaporized. Because what Ezra just explained here was that immediately, Allah Yahawah only needed one attack, okay? And that was the attack from that laser beam. And those lasers are all going to what? Because you always see it in all these different movies, where basically when you see lasers, different lasers coming together, and they join to form one big laser. That big laser is shot out and it hits the enemy, and those things happen in that day, okay? So all the different lasers that our Lord Yahawah has is going to come out and vaporize Esau's entire army. So this is the word vaporize, and it means to turn into vapor, right? And the word vapor is cloudy diffused matter such as mist, steam, or fumes suspended in the air. So basically, all that's going to be left of them is smoke. That's what it means to be vaporized. Esau had Esau's space force, his air force, his armies that he has, his armies of his angels, the army that he sent up against Yahawah, the ground forces as well, they are all going to be turned into vapor, turned into fumes, vaporized, okay? And all this is going to happen in the blink of an eye, in an instant, alright? Because guess what? If Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed in 1 hour, how fast do you think Yahawah will destroy the army, the army that comes to intercept him? Because that's basically what it's speaking about, It's about the force that is going to intercept our Lord Yahawah once he comes into the Earth's atmosphere, into airspace, okay? Because this battle right here is not going to happen in our atmosphere, right? It's going to be happening in outer space. In other words, above the clouds, okay? This is a battle that's going to be going on above the clouds, above what you can see. It's going to be going on in outer space, where the stars and all that is at. So it's going to be our Lord Yahawah, it's going to be the space force actually fighting against our Lord Yahawah. And then when it descends, the air force will come and collect their own. And then when it descends, the ground force will come and collect their own. This is how the judgment of our Lord Yahawah will go forth, man. And it will get all of Esau's armies. And then it will get the whole earth as well. Because once Esau's armies are there to protect the international bankers, okay? Because don't think for a second that these armies that you see all over the earth, all the various armies of all the various countries are actually there to protect you. There's the military that actually set up to protect the interests of the international bankers. So once those armies are no longer there to protect the international bankers, guess what? They're going to throw you people, the international bankers are going to throw you people at them, okay? You people that are taking the mark, that they are worshiping this beast system, that are slaves to Esau idols. They are going to be next line of defense. They're going to be next. Man, I should have brought some water. Last time, bad. They're going to be next line of defense between the Yahawah and the wicked, okay? Satan, the devil, right? And they're going to be destroyed as well. and then your Lord Yahweh is going to catch international bankers. But guess what? Guess what? Oh, he's not going to destroy you, you know. He's not going to put you to death. You're not going to be destroyed. You're going to be put in chains and then become the first batch of slaves in the kingdom, you know. That is going to be a fate worse than death. Because guess what? You're going to be begging the elect, you know, Lord willing, and I'm part of that number. You're going to be begging the elect, alright? You're going to be begging the elect, no, and suppose I am part of that number, you're going to be begging us for death. You're going to be begging us to just put you to death so I can end your turmoil, you can end your torment. But that's not going to happen because you have to pay for everything that you've done. Because revenge is scriptural and revenge is righteous, okay? To want revenge is completely 100% righteous, alright? You know, and the elect are going to get their revenge, they're going to be avenged for all the things that Israel has done, they're going to get their vengeance for that. So to want vengeance, to want revenge is 100% scriptural, 100% righteous. And it's a beautiful thing right there. So actually want to be avenged. But anyway. So let me get some more presets, you know, because this is all that's going to be the judgment. That's going to be how and that's just how our Lord Yahweh is coming back. Oh. We haven't even got into what's going to happen next after, you know, all the things that are going to happen when our Lord Yahweh comes back. But that's just going into how he's going to come back. First thing that he's going to do when he comes back is going to destroy Esau's space force when they come against him. He's going to come back, and when he comes back, man, everybody that sees in that sight of our Lord Yahweh, nothing is biting me. But anyway, anybody that sees that sight of our Lord Yahweh return, they'll be terrified, okay? Terrified to the point in which they'll be scared to death. Men's hearts feeling in them for fear. And also for looking upon the things which have come upon the earth as well. That's also part of the precept. But anyway, let's go on. Let's finish up the judgments, okay? Because what did we talk about? The value of Yahawah shapat, okay? So let me finish up with that precept. So this is the book of Joel. This is the book of Joel 3 verse 1, and it reads, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." Right, so as I was saying, Joel 3 verse 1, and it reads, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." So actually my battery just went down. Alright, when our Lord Yahweh comes back, he doesn't come back to trade the places, okay? Because what? When it comes back, you know, that's when we know that our salvation has finally come and our captivity is truly over. So our Lord Yahweh is coming back to deliver, and that's why he is the deliverer. That's why his name is Yahweh Shai. In other words, he delivered, because he's coming back to deliver the Israelites. And that means all you Israelites, okay? All of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and similar Indians, which are the so-called Israelites according to the Bible. And he's coming back to deliver all of you. Alright, because you already know that, and even if you're not of the elect, even if you're already dead, guess what? I think Yahweh is still coming back to deliver you. Alright, they're going to be saved from this chaos kingdom. Alright? And that's what the Yahweh is coming back to do, okay? He's coming back to bring down judgment, and the judgment of our people as a whole. The judgment of the Most High that was, that will be the kings and priests upon the earth. Because that's what Yahweh has promised unto us through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our forefathers. Alright, that's why Christians preach that if you're not an Israelite, this is not for you. If you're not an Israelite, change the channel, okay? If you're not part of the Israelites, this message is not for you, because this message only goes to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, alright? Those are the only people to whom salvation is promised. So continuing on, from verse 2 now. "I will also gather all nations, I will bring them down into the valley of Yahawah shapat." That was the valley of Jehoshaphat. And I will lead with them, I will plead with them, I will plead with them there, for my people and for my heritage Israel. whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land. So that's what the Most High is doing right now at this time, okay? He's gathering all the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. So all this World War III, all this conflict between the US, China, and Russia, this three-way battle, is all leading towards World War III, and all leading towards the armies of the world being gathered in the Middle East. By being gathered in the valley of Jehoshaphat, that's the region of Syria, Iraq, and Iran, and Afghanistan, and Middle Eastern region, so that they can be judged by Yahawah Shai. And that judgment is coming in the form of Yahawah Shai and those chariots. So now you see what is going on, you see how it's all connecting, okay? Old Testament, New Testament, and Apocrypha. Everything connects together because it's all speaking about the same thing. The judgment of our Lord Yahawah Shai. And that is going to bring that judgment to the place where our Lord Yahawah Shai is going to first appear. Right now to bring that judgment is going to be, and this is just me speaking as a man, because I could be wrong, but it's going to be the valley of Jehoshaphat, where that judgment will come off first. Right? Like I was saying, even though Babylon has pulled out their troops from Afghanistan, their troops are still going to go back there, okay? The troops are still going to go back there because the only reason why Babylon pulled out their troops from Afghanistan is so that, you know, to fulfill the prophecy of certain age that the 15th and the 16th chapter, okay? When the sedition and the civil unrest starts, Israel needs boots on the ground to protect his interests and to put the people and to put spell on the people, alright? Because what's going to happen? Because you know that it's going to be the army that when a martial law breaks out, it's going to be the army that will be picking up people and throwing them into the penal camp, into the concentration camp, which of course basically already been set up right now. Because the army is going to be the one that will be throwing people into the concentration camp because they refuse to take the mark of the MOTB. They refuse to take the chip and the like, okay? That's part of but back to what I was saying, okay? That was the second point I wanted to bring out. That basically concerning that, that the army is only there for martial law, for when the martial law breaks out, and to be the female troops so that they can carry, so that they can put the leg into prison, right? So that prophecy can be fulfilled as well. Alright, so now, going into the judgment of the Most High, talking about it for a while, let's talk about it for a while. But basically, alright, thanks to the main point. So that's what I actually came here to talk about today. Because that's whole thing about the judgment of Yahawah. Now, actually, it just came to me as I just set up the camp, because we already know what's going on the earth, and we already know what we're always talking about. Judgment, prophecy. So I was trying to bring out a prophecy about judgment, and I spent almost a damn near an hour talking about it. But anyway, because that's the spirit right there, okay? Because because this is the longest I've ever talked about anything, man. I don't usually gush or talk about anything else except for this truth. So what I was actually wanted to talk about was I read that in John 8 chapter, where it says that we shall hear the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Alright, okay, it's John 8 verse 32. So this is the book of John 8 verse 32, and it reads, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Alright, that basically is, because even the scripture says that he that is free in Yahawah Shai is free indeed. Because as you know, Yahawah Shai is the truth, okay? So basically the truth, that was about Yahawah Shai will set you free, okay? And when it says set you free, it doesn't mean that you're already set you free. It means set you free from all your burdens, from all of our our troubles and all of that, because we already know what we are fighting for, right? Because normally, the world trying to stop you, looking for how to get, you're trying to get rich quick, because you think that that's where your value will be. Trying to impress women, trying to get them, you think that's an important thing. Because all people are in the world, they always think that the difficulty is honestly that the most important thing, being rich, having women, having the fastest cars and all that. That's why you see the inflation rate so high. Because people don't understand what is actually valuable, what is actually the important thing right there, what's actually the real treasure, which is what? Having that firm belief in Yahawah, in your child, that the most high, that our names are written in the book of life. Right? Because that's why our outside Yahweh and Bible, because the fear of the most high, through fear of Yahawah, in your child, the persuade men. Right? Because when you look into our eyes, you see that fear, you see that we believe. That's why majority of people are in the world, they think that we are crazy, because when they look into our eyes, even they, that's something right there, that even these people that are blind, okay, that are basically groping and looking for a light, groping around in the new day, when the sun is in its brightness, they are still looking for it, they still can't see it. Even they can look into our eyes and see that we believe what we are speaking about. And when we speak, when we talk about the triumph, the destruction, the judgments, about who the devil will be destroyed them, they can see that holy shit, they actually believe what they are talking about, When you look at Pastor Pork Chop, look at all these different Edomites, you look at these things that in the churches, your TD fakes, your snakes, your TD snakes, your techno, those are them. Your ear, when you look into their eyes, they're just talking, they're just making a speech, an eloquent speech that can draw the hearts of people, That's all they are doing. They're just making that's why they use the prosperity doctrine. All they are doing is pulling and tugging on heartstrings, telling you what you want to hear so you can fill up their bank accounts. When they look into our eyes, they see that we are telling them what we believe. They can see that we believe this 100%. We believe that this will happen. And look at us like, damn, they actually believe in this. They actually believe what they're talking about, because you can see it in the eyes, man. You can see, you can see it in the eyes clearly when somebody is telling the truth or when they are lying. If you have enough, you can see it in the eyes. And when you look at the man, you know about what we're speaking about. You believe in what we're speaking about. That's what the scripture says. Through the fear of your heart being outside, you persuade men, alright? And because you understand what is going to happen on the earth, what's going to come on the earth, chasing after women, chasing after riches, chasing after the vanities of this earth, the things of the flesh, is not going to save you. Alright? So what does the scripture say? Seek ye first. Matthew 6, verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and His righteousness. Okay, I can't shout too much, you get my throat. Anyway, Matthew 6, verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. And basically what I want to go into is that, seek the first and foremost, the most important thing is for the Most High, the kingdom of Yahawah outside, and the righteousness of that kingdom, because that's all we're looking for. That's all the elect are looking for. That's the book of 2 Peter 3. I believe in 12 chapter, that we seek a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. That's what we're all looking for, that new heaven and that new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. We're looking for a perfect world, the way our child, Yahawah is the rulership, okay? And where coincident as this is of course, us being kings and priests and rulers in that kingdom, it's just a coincidence, okay? Just that it was promised unto us. But we're looking, just a coincidence and added benefits. Because the main thing that we're looking for is we're looking to live in a righteous world. Because we're all tired of living in this place, but that's beside the point, Because understanding this truth, right? Because understanding this truth at the end of the day, what you know, because let's just say that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength of salvation in the book of Psalms. That wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times and the strength of our salvation. You know that the fear of Yahawah is basically our treasure. So basically, you know, so yeah, because having because the thing that us hold so closely and dearly to our hearts is that we fear and believe in Yahawah. That's our treasure. Our faith is our treasure, right? And we're not, you know, our belief in Yahawah is our treasure, you know, because what, like I said before, the only thing that we have in this world is the word, okay, the truth, right, and our balls. And we can't break, and we will not, so I cannot count. We can't, we don't, we won't, we shouldn't, and we wouldn't break it for nobody, alright, because this word is our word as well. So when I say the only thing I have is my word and my balls, I mean this word right here, because everybody that is in this truth has a part in this word, man, because if you believe in reincarnation, then that means you believe that if you are on the highways and byways sign right now, then you are one of the prophets of old. And I'm most likely, you know, you would be a man of the Lord written up in this book. One of the men of the Lord written up in this book. Whether your name was actually mentioned, or you were one of the great multitude that repented, or that sacrificed themselves, or that were righteous unto Yahawah outside. Or you are part of the 144,000 that was mentioned in the scriptures. Or you are part of the 1/3 that was mentioned in the scriptures, in the same scriptures as well. You are, this word, you are a part of the word, you are a part of the book. If your name is, because basically your name is in the scriptures, you know, whether it was written down, whether it was actually written down as one of the names that you bore in your past during one of your incarnations, or whether your name was written down as being acknowledged as one of the 1/3, then your name is actually written here in this scripture, because this right here, this is the book of life. When it says that your names are written up in the book of life, that means that what? You are one of the 1/3. You are one of the elect. You are one of the multitude that was spoken of in Revelation 14, in Revelation the 14th chapter. And I believe also in Revelation the 7th chapter. Alright? And that's back to what I was saying, you know. Free now is free now, our try is free indeed. You know, like you have these things. You no longer have, you no longer the wrong system. We are no longer in the world, you know. So the worries of the world and the judgment that the world will receive, you no longer have to worry about receiving that judgment anymore. You know where your priorities lie. Or if you understand where our priority lies, our priority lies in this word, in this book, in the knowledge of the scriptures, okay? So we have received the truth has set us free, and now we will stand upon our watch. That is about 50 verse 1 right there. We will stand upon our watch and wait and hear what you are commanded, okay? What is the ultimate, what our Lord Yahweh said to ask us to do, command us to do. And which is what? Speak unto my people this word of prophecy, right? Write it upon tables and write it upon the table and make write it down and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. And right now, like I always say, man, prophecy is as plain as it can ever be, you know. There has never been a time on the earth in here where prophecy is so clear as now, okay? Because me here in Nigeria doesn't know shit about shit. Doesn't know anything about how the world works. Can clearly break down Second Ezra 11th chapter, in 12th chapter, then at the 7th chapter, then at the 11th chapter, you know. Whether it's going into the eagle with the wings and the feathers, okay, the contrary feathers, or whether it's going into Second Ezra then at the 11th chapter, where it speaks about the rough goats and the ram, right? And the goat that I've forgotten how the Peter said, but basically he bucked up on every side, you know, thinking about Alexander the Great and how he was basically conquering, you know, every single thing that he saw. Which of course makes me believe that, you know, Christopher Colon could have been Alexander the Great in the reincarnation, you know, because they were basically doing the exact same thing. And he was the one that discovered the new world and conquered the new world, you know. That's why you say that Christopher Colon discovered the new world. You know, makes me believe that he was actually Alexander coming back in the flesh. Alright? But anyway, continue. That's what I was speaking about. That's what I was speaking on. Alright? That's the picture of him in this treatment. The utmost security. And I want to get some precept. I just slacker, my mouth is just slacker. Anyway, I want to get some precepts. I always get some precepts. You already have to jump and get some precepts. I got find it. Okay, there it is. Look up James. Look up James 1 verse 27 and it reads, pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. So basically what he's going to is, first and foremost, giving alms, because we always speak about this, how, because even the scripture says that like, he that giveth alms covereth the majority of his sin. That is the book of Tobit, I believe that 13 or 14, that he that giveth alms cover the multitude of his sins. Because arms cover it, let me get that picture. Alright, so this is the book of Tobit 12 verse 9 and it reads, for arms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sins. Those that exercise arms and righteousness shall be filled with life. And this precept right here is a precept that is used by so-called Christians to prove that the Apocrypha isn't legitimate, because they say that the Apocrypha says that arms, that giving arms is all you need to do. As I was saying, the Apocrypha says that giving alms is all you need to do in order to be delivered. That you don't need to, that if you can give alms, that you automatically cleanse of all your sins. But that's not what this says. Okay, let me read it again. Tobit 12 verse 9. For alms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sin. So now they say that, oh, this person is telling you that, it's saying that if you give money, that you can actually pay to be delivered. You can actually pay for your sins. You can pay to receive salvation by giving alms. In other words, giving alms, not just to widows or to the poor, but also to your pastor, to local pastors, in order to be delivered. But that's not what this is saying. Because we already understand that alms, okay, giving of alms can actually cover you from sin. It can actually deliver, cover your sin, okay? It can actually be a form of atonement for sins. So this next part, those that exercise alms and righteousness. Alright, so we already know what righteousness is, what true righteousness is, and that is following in the way of our Lord Yahawashi. Alright, so those are exercising alms and righteousness. And that's why, in the camp videos that our apostles do, sometimes you see them, they'll give alms to, that Jake woman that always comes to collect alms. That always comes to collect $1 or so. Or another homeless person that comes and gets $1. They always see the apostles do that, they'll give alms to, and why is in need of it, okay? And the reason why that is happening is because that's scriptural, okay? To give alms to the poor, to cover him, because alms cover a multitude of sins, okay? If you are giving alms, you are covering you don't even realize that we are covering some of the sins which are committing against Yahawashi. They are paying it's basically an atonement for the sins they are committing against Yahawashi. But does that now mean that, if you give alms, that means that you're automatically going to the kingdom? Like if you pay alms and do nothing else, you're automatically going to the kingdom? No, because you have to give alms and still practice and rehearse the righteous acts, okay? Rehearsing the righteous acts being what? What is written up in the scriptures. The ways of righteousness are right here. Basic instructions before leaving earth, the scriptures, alright? So now the next precept. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 30. Water will quench a flaming fire, and alms maketh an atonement for sins. Alright, so yeah, giving alms is part of this truth, part of this work, okay? It is an important part of this work, man. You see a brother that desperately in need of help. Give out whatever you have and give it to him. And that's also another thing right there, okay? Just because the scriptures say, sell all you have and follow anointed GMS or give to the poor, doesn't mean that you just take away, it doesn't mean that you throw away your livelihood. You throw away everything that you have just in order to be righteous or prove your sincerity, okay? Go as you just say that what? Be not righteous over much, alright? Let me get that percent. Where the scripture say, be not righteous over much. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 16 and it reads, be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Alright, now basically what that is going into, okay? You don't be over righteous, okay? Don't overdo it. You do according to your ability. You do to the best of your ability. That's what I always tell you. You keep the laws to the best of your ability. You serve the most to the best of your ability, You know like yesterday. I actually wanted to come out to camp yesterday. But man, if you saw the rain that was falling yesterday, and this is me actually being serious. That rain was heavy. I actually went out in that rain thinking that, oh, it's not going to be a light rain, just carry my umbrella and go. I actually moved my umbrella from my head for a second and put it back. My whole body was soaked, man. That rain was heavy as hell. The rain was pouring like crazy. Anyway, I went to this computer school that I'm going to, right? And anyway, I'm not going there because I'm learning how to code for a job, But everybody that came to that school, they were completely soaked, alright? Because that's how heavy that rain was, man. Places were flooded, man, because of that rain. And places are still flooded up to now. Even though that rain stopped falling since like yesterday afternoon. But that rain was so heavy, and I knew that day that I could not go to camp. Even in the evening, for that whole day, I could not go to camp because of how wet and how flooded everywhere would be. So that's why I actually came out today, just to do this camp, right? Because I couldn't come out that yesterday. And if I actually came out that yesterday, man, I would have fallen sick for sure. Because how heavy that rain was, right? And if you are somebody that was righteous now, they want to come out in that rain and be like, oh, I'm still going to come out in that rain and embarrass, it's no rain going to stop me. Let that rain or shine, I'm going to come out and do this work, that kind of thing. But if you do that, man, that could cause all kind of problems for you. Illnesses, all kind of sickness, you catch a cold and all, and you catch a serious cold because of it. Right? Because I was indoors before that rain. I was still cold, but I still almost took a cold. I still have to bath with boiling hot water, man, scalding hot, The kind of water that you bath with, man, that steam starts coming out of your body. That's the kind of water I have to bath with, just not to bear this cold, man. Because I don't think it's just that you do that according to the best of your ability. If you are suffering a sickness, if you are sick or anything like that, sick to the point that you can't come out to camp, and you don't come out, nobody is going to blame you. You're not going to be them because of that, okay? If you have an injury that causes you not to be able to come out to camp, you stay at home, you don't come out, you just do your normal sit down. Nobody is going to blame you for that. If you have, say, there's this disease, I think it's fever or something like that basically, if you have that disease, you can't actually speak. You can't actually speak, If you have that, if you one time have issues with that disease, you can't actually speak. I forgot the name of that disease. I think it was fever or something like that. And you don't speak, you don't do the videos, you don't do the sit down. You just stay posting videos. Nobody is going to blame you for that, okay? You fell under a sickness, you just go for the anointing. Which I was actually watching that video that the Apostle Gabal did recently, and that was sick. then go and get yourself anointed, you know. I think it was food for brothers with ailments, things like that. You know, maybe you say that you can seek to the anointing prayer, and you take some food, you can take some herbs to cure your sickness, alright? And you know, that's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it is. Okay, we don't overdo it in these truths, you know, because we try to do it to the best of our ability. Because you understand, we can't do everything perfect on this side. We are simply rehearsing the righteous act. Simply, they're just showing our faith with our works by rehearsing the righteous acts. You know that eventually we'll get everything right in the kingdom. Alright, we will be perfect in the kingdom. Everything will be perfect in the kingdom. Right? And we know at the most time, everybody is showing us that because correct, because we know how to. Or because when I first came into this treatment, keeping the Sabbath was complicated and tough for me because calculating the exact day was difficult. I was getting so many things confused. I thought that it was Sabbath, then 7 days. Sabbath and 7 days. In other words, we celebrate the Sabbath, then you now count 7 days again. When you celebrate the next Sabbath. Instead of the Sabbath being on the 7th day, I thought the Sabbath was every 7th day. I thought that you celebrate the Sabbath after 7 days instead of the Sabbath being on the 7th day. Then because I'm not using the same calendar as people in the world, so the Sabbath can fall at on any time, you know. So after the new moon, I always count 7 days, then celebrate the Sabbath, then count another 7 days, then celebrate the Sabbath. But in actuality, you know, the Sabbath is what? 7 days. The Sabbath is what? The 7th day after the new moon. So it falls on the same day every new moon. That's how you celebrate the Sabbath. You know, and the next Sabbath is coming up. You know, I believe that the next Sabbath is coming up, you know, on Monday. The next Sabbath is coming up this evening. And the new moon is coming up Monday evening. Alright? But the most I'm not going to destroy us because we could not keep all the laws correctly. Because even the scripture says that let me get that picture. There it is. This is the book of Romans 7. Romans 7 verse 24, and it reads, Romans 7 verse 24. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this? Who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank the Most High through our Shai Hamashiach our Lord. So then, with the mind I myself serve the law of the Most High, but with the flesh, the law of sin. And that basically, you know, we're still in the flesh. So we're still in the flesh. So we still go up and we still commit some sins. Little things which we used to go off. But because we have a deliverer, you know, we can try and keep the law based on our ability. And in the places where we fall off, in the places where we go off, you know, we have the deliverer to, you know, vouch for us, to wash away of our sins for that. You know, that's why we pray to our Lord. That's why we pray that what will be delivered from evil. Right? Because guess what? Sin is evil. So when we say deliver us from evil, part of those evils are the sin, our own sins, okay? Because the wages of sin is death. That's another thing right there. That's why we're going to be built up into those chariots, because we are going to be found sinless in that day. Right? In the day of deliverance, elect are going to be found sinless. Lord willing, once again, Yahawah Ratazah, as I want Ratazah in that number. We are going to be found sinless in that day, alright? And because we are sinless, we will be delivered unto those chariots, you know, without having to go through death. Right? But since we are still in this body, we are still in sin. Right? But the Most High will not allow us to perish in our sins, okay? Because we're not serving, let me get that picture. Right? We're not serving a God of, we're not serving the God of the dead or the God of death. We are serving a living power, a living God, okay? So this is the book of Psalm 6, verse 4, and it reads, Return, O Yahawah, deliver my soul, O save me for thy mercy's sake. For in death there is no remembrance of thee. In the grave who shall give thee thanks? Alright, and so the Most High, so in death, in the grave, if the elect perish, if the elect are allowed to perish, who Who will praise the Most High? Who will stand up for Yahweh Shai name? Who will be the righteous? So if you believe that you are of the elect, if you hope to be of the elect, you have to trust in the fact that you are going to be delivered. Right? Because I did a video recently that if that's true, okay, we have no other option, we have no other plan. Our plan is to be delivered by Yahweh Shai. So everything that we do right now is in the basis of that plan succeeding. Right? Because we already know, we already understand that, Allah Yahweh Shai will deliver on his path. He will come back to deliver the elect, that is sure. We are now trying to make sure that we are worthy to be of the elect, so we are worthy to be delivered. We are trying to make sure that we fulfill our part, our end of the bargain. Because Yahweh Shai will definitely fulfill his own end. So now we are trying to make sure that we are perfect, okay? So in that day we will be delivered, okay? Because we understand who we are, because we understand the God we are worshiping, living God, living power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh, who will deliver his elect in that day. Because what is it with that? Yeah, so this is the book of Luke. This is the book of Luke 18, verse 7, and it reads, and shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? So basically, the Yahweh is going to avenge and deliver his elect, which cry day and night for him. So we already know by sure, that surely the Most High will deliver the elect, because in the book of Isaiah 55 verse 11 it tells you that what? And the Most High speaks. Alright? And the word of the Most High speaks, that the word of the Most High shall not return unto him void. And he has spoken and he will do it, okay? As his word is that the Most High does not speak in vain. Because even the scripture says that he honoreth his word more than his name, okay? So if he said that he will do something, he will really do it. He is bound by his word, okay? Yahweh Shai is a man of his word. The Most High is not a man that he should lie, neither is he the son of man that he should repent. Has he not said, then he will definitely do it, okay? So what we are trying to do right now is trying to be worthy of being of that number, of being of the elect, because you understand that the God that we worship is a living God, okay? Sorry, I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get a precepts. Alright, the book of Luke 20, verse 38. This is the book of Luke 20, verse 38. For he is not a God of the dead, but of the living. For all live unto him. Alright, and that's right. So we are going to so we understand that we're not going to perish, we're not going to, the elect aren't going to face or see death, okay? Because let me get that piece out, because even the scriptures tell you that the elect shall not see death. I believe that was in the Beatitudes. Alright, this is right here. So this is the book of Luke 9, verse 27 and it reads, but I tell you of a truth, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of the Most High. Alright? So you have majority of the elect, specifically the 144,000 that are going to be delivered. They are going to be delivered unto life. Okay, they will not perish. Their body will not perish. Their body will not see death or corruption. Now what was the corruption of? Now what was the grave? Their bodies will not rot away, but they will be changed in their corrupted bodies, in the bodies that we have right now. Because the Most High is not a, like I said, the Most High is not a God of the dead, not a God of the dead, but a God of the living. And those that are worshiping Him in spirit and in truth, in righteousness, in sincerity, in 100% truth and fear, they are going to be, they're not going to taste or see death. Okay, they are going to be delivered into the chariots. Alright, so we know what we worship. We are of the hopeful elect. We are in the street, our Hebrew elect. We know what we worship. We are serving a living God, okay, a living power. Let me see if I can get that picture. Alright, I couldn't find a picture I was looking for. Basically, what I wanted to get was that we are serving a living power, we're serving a living God, you know. And the picture that keeps popping into my mind is, you know, where it says that what a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And because you understand how fearful, you know, how terrible the fate of those that disobey and betray the Yahawah our child is, you know, like I said before, through the fear of the Most High being persuaded men. And also in the fact that the precept where it says that, you know, I can't remember how it goes, but basically, it's a faithful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, you know, because the scriptures say, fear not him that can kill the body, and afterwards do not fear us, but fear him that can kill both soul and body in hell. Right, and then you see the different videos of different bodies that people are being put inside, you know, bodies of the bodies that have plagues in them, that have various that are going through or suffering various conditions, you know, that when you see it, then you realize that there's actually, you know, that this is actually hell. You know, different deformities and different infirmities, you know, different things that people go through in the flesh. That you know that this is this is actually paying for some kind of sin, okay? So we understand, you know, the judgments of the Most High, how terrifying they truly are. And we are trying to save ourselves from that judgment by doing the will of Yahawah our child. That's why, you know, and that's how we are going to deliver ourselves, you know, be of the elect. Because we are striving to do the work and the will of Yahawah our child, you know. And as the scripture says, they have not strived unto death, okay? Because we're not actually struggling, you know, because because our Lord Yahweh already paid ultimate sacrifice for all of our sins. So all we are going through right now is only a fraction of what we are supposed to go through. Because normally, even before our Lord Yahweh sacrifice, you know, the Most High did not punish the Israelites, okay, not punish us as our sins deserve to be punished. Alright? But now that our Lord Yahweh has sacrificed himself for us, now we're only getting a fraction of our punishment, okay? There's everything about going through, all of our trials and our tribulations, you know, it's even small compared to what are really supposed to be going through in the flesh. What our sins truly deserve. So what is it? I believe in the book of Job, the 11th chapter. So I can look for the precept. I'm not getting ready to close out, so I'm not even going to look for it too much. I don't want to waste too much time. But basically, the same preacher that tells you that what, and the most time will not punish you as much as you deserve. But in the punishment that you create, the most time will not punish you more than you deserve. Okay, so this is the book of I wanted to get the one in the New Testament. So I'm just going to get the one in the book of Job. So this is the book of Job 11 verse 6, and it reads, Job 11 verse 6, and that he would shew thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Know therefore that the Most High exacted of thee less than thine iniquity deserved. Like I was saying, the Most High is not punishing us according to what our iniquity deserves, but actually punishing us a fraction of our true punishment. Okay. So what we are going through right now, the hell that we are going through right now, all the captivity and the hell that we are catching, it's still nothing compared to what we actually should be going through. And yet the Most High is still there with us, pushing us through it, backing us up, when we are going through this hell, sending the angels to comfort us, whenever we are downtrodden, whenever we are on the ground, to try and build us back up, sending prayers to exalt us, at our own moment, That shows you just how much Most High loves us, and how much really cares for us, man, because I myself, I can personally testify that I've been through a lot of situations I've been through a lot of situations where, I was like, if the Most High hadn't been there for me, man, if it wasn't for how about you, I would try, and I've already been, I would already been destroyed, okay? Because I've been thinking about this a lot, man. If I didn't know about this truth, if I wasn't in the truth, I probably would have already taken the stab, There was a time when I was actually confronted with taking the stab, and I just remember that, it is not lawful for you to put anything into your, for you to put anything, to place your body. And I was like, I'm not breaking that law, man. I'm not breaking that law, because of my faith, because I believed, that this stab was deadly, it was dangerous, man, because we already know Esau's plans. I'm not going to speak too much on that, Don't want to get this video flagged or anything like that, because you already know how Esau works. So I'm going to end it right here, for the sake of the length of the video, alright? Because so with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor and glory unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashai, Bahasham, Machat, Wadash, Wa Abad Bambam. Alright, Shalom.